Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home, and I want to talk about permitting. And it's something that a lot of owner builders just kind of get frustrated with. They don't understand the process, and that's because they don't do any research, or they don't go into the city or into the county and just say, hello, I'm a builder, I need to know the process on submitting for a permit. And most permits throughout the country, I'd say maybe 80% and getting higher, are all submitted online. And so go to your county. If you're in a county jurisdiction or if you're in a city jurisdiction, there's going to be a building permit office. Now, some of them, even though you're in a city, they still default to the county because the city might not have the resources to manage a building permit office. So you may just go through the county. You find that the case in Nevada, just to the west of me. Even though you have some very populous areas, they're pushing everything through the county, and it's very, very sophisticated. But here's one. This is with the Sacramento City Permitting Office, and I just picked one out of the blue, and that gives you a really, really good step-by-step process on what you need to do to submit your building, your plans and everything for a building permit. And it actually gives you the steps, and you click on that, and it even gives you kind of like idiot-proof thumb tabs that tell you to do this and do that and do this and do that. And they're typically done in a sequential order, meaning you can't get to here until you do this. So you need to do this first, and then this, and then that. Every city, every county is different. They're not the same, but they generally approach things by, let's talk to planning, some sort of a planning committee or planning commission, and you go through that. Or it could be the staff review, it could be a joint utility committee that's looking at utility issues first. Whatever the city or the county requires first, that's what you want to kind of plug in and get going for. But one thing I've recommended is getting and talking and getting an open communication with your permitting office, getting them know who you are, and getting a relationship with them. The sooner that happens, then when you do call or when you do go in, you can ask questions and you can get some really good feedback. Don't feel like you can't go in there. I know there's a lot of issues with regard to COVID and stuff like that. And I just had a meeting with my local city permitting office, and it was through Zoom. And so you might want to make sure that you're hooked up with Zoom. A lot of cities are moving in that direction, mainly because you've got a sewer division over there, power utility division over there, streets and water and parks. And so rather than meet in one location, they're just all meeting from their office now and doing a Zoom call. So make sure that you're hooked up that way. Could be another other means to connect, but a lot of them are using Zoom. But don't feel like you're at a loss. Get online, and if you know you're in a city jurisdiction, type in permitting office, local building permit for XYZ city, and see if that comes up. And you'll know pretty quick if you're in a county jurisdiction or a city jurisdiction, or where that permitting office is located at. Just spend some time, because that's going to give you a lot of the things you need, a lot of the checklists, a lot of things, punch list, your architectural, your geotechnical, you're going to submit all that, your structural plans, you're going to submit all that, your site plan, your elevations, your grading plan, you're going to start submitting all these things. And pretty soon you'll get down to a checklist, and when it's all done, you hit submit and you're done, and then you just wait. But you want to jump on that quick, because a lot of building permit offices are slow. Some are pretty quick. In my location, it's about 2 weeks to finally get some word back on if I'm good or if I need to correct something. Some places I know they can wait up to 6 months before they can approve a permit. I know some states, and I won't mention them, they don't permit and approve something for close to a year. So the sooner you jump on this, the better, because you don't want that to wait. A lot of times we just jump on. For example, I was dealing with a client, and the client wanted this certain thing built, but we went through a design process first, and it would have been better to go with the city process first, because the city is now issuing a concern with regard to erosion control, because it's right next to a river. that's really throwing a monkey in the wrench. And had I known that earlier on in advance, because then I wouldn't have gone the direction with the design that we chose. I would have altered the design. So one of the first places you want to talk to, one of the first places you want to go to is your local building office, because they're going to bring in flood control, they're going to bring in all kinds of issues that are relevant for your build that you're probably not considering. And we think in isolated terms. We think in terms of, I want to build this and it has to have this square footage and that's what my elevation is going to look like. But there are other impact issues that you have to consider that the building permit office, they're going to bring up. For sure, they're going to bring up. So hit your local building office, talk to them as soon as you possibly can, get that list of all things that you need to submit, and know that in advance, and don't let that be a surprise, because it can be a surprise and it doesn't need to be, so you can plan for it. Anyway, check out, do some research, get online. You'll find that list pretty quick. This is Keith Kelsch with How to Build Your Own Home.